All right, what I wanted to show you guys today is how to take your really dirty mats and clean them and then glue them so that they'll work again just like new mats. As you can see here, I actually had used these mats to cut fabric, so there's a whole lot of fabric lint, not to mention all the paper lint and everything that's on here. So super quick and easy. I'll show you how I get these cleaned and ready to go. So all I'm doing is adding a little bit of water and then just a kitchen scrubby brush. The scrubby brush is basically going to help loosen up all of the lint and paper, which is what makes it so that your mat stops sticking, is all that lint is now prohibiting the stick from grabbing your paper. I pull it out of the sink so that I can use the surface of the counter, just because my sink would be kind of bowed and wouldn't give me a good scrubbing surface. But you can kind of see here, again, it's not necessarily the prettiest looking mat. The main goal is to get the lint and stuff off of it. Once I've done that, then all I'm going to do is actually just dry the back side, just so that it's one less area that's wet. Okay, so these are 3 mats that I cleaned earlier. Depending on, they're dry now, so with that you'll notice that some of it I can kind of get it and it's a little bit sticky. Not quite sticky enough to go against the table as far as me bringing it. The table's holding it stronger than the stick is. But really I probably could just take this as is. If it's holding my hand and not falling off, then I could probably use this again with paper without having to re-adhere it. And so that's where you can kind of test it. Sometimes this will be good enough and I won't even have to add new adhesive. But if you find that it's not sticking and you want to do to get it stickier again, what I'm using here is the Close to My Heart Bonding Memories glue. It's a great glue. It's wonderful for any kind of paper crafting or projects because it's a very strong adhesive. But what's awesome about it, and the capability we're going to use here, is when you put it on while it's wet, like paper upon paper while it's wet, it's going to be a permanent adhesive. So great for your cards and your projects and any paper crafting. But if you put it on and let it air dry and then put it down on the other piece of paper or make contact with something, it's going to be repositionable like a Post-it note. So that capability is what we're using with our Cricut mats, is we're going to put the glue on and just let it dry. And by allowing that to happen, what we're going to be able to do is have that self-adhesive or that repositionable adhesive on our mat. Now you'll notice here I'm just going around. The main thing you want to be aware of is that you stay within this green section. You don't want to go out here, because if you go out along the sides, you're going to end up gumming up your machine. So you want to make sure that you stay within the green frame. And this adhesive is so strong that actually it's going to be almost too strong. So you want a very thin layer. Fortunately, since it's blue, you can kind of see it as it's going on. At least from this side of the camera anyways, you can see it. Not sure how well you can see it over there. But really you're just doing thin amounts. You don't want it to be a whole bunch because it's already going to be super sticky when this thin amount dries. But all I'm doing is making sure that I'm kind of just getting the whole mat and then spreading the adhesive out. With the Bonding Memories glue, if you find you need more adhesive, you just push it down and bring it back up, and it brings more to the tip. Okay, so these are the mats that we've glued. And so you can kind of see that, well, again, the table wants to fight it, but you can see that it's obviously stickier, it's holding it much more. And so this is great if you're cutting fabric. You actually want it to be super sticky like this so that the fabric won't move. But when you're cutting paper, you don't want that to happen, because then you're trying to lift it off and you're ripping your paper. So once we're ready to go with this one, so these 2 I'll just go ahead and put covers on, but this will be the one I start using. All I'm going to do to reduce the stickiness down is literally just do this all over my mat, allowing my hand to reduce the sticky for me without leaving any kind of lint. Really, it's just going to be kind of the oils from my hands that are helping to reduce it down. And what that's going to allow is that I can then put my paper on, get a clean cut, because I've got a fresh mat ready to go. It's going to be sticky enough to hold the paper on, but not so sticky that I'm ripping the paper as I'm trying to pull the image off of it. Glue, again, all I did was use a kitchen scrubby to get all the lint and paper and everything off of my mat. Let it dry, add a thin layer of our Bonding Memories glue, allow it to dry. From there, I'm just covering them up and ready to go, except for the one I'm ready to use. When I'm ready to use them, I go ahead and pat my hand all the way around it multiple times to reduce the sticky so that it doesn't rip my paper up. And that's it. That's how you can refurbish your mats and use them over and over again. Thanks so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.